going to share my screen. Okay, so Tony and I are going to be leading this 0 to 5 bootcamp, and we're really excited to be on here with you guys. I have been doing this for 2 years. A lot of you know me, a lot of you don't. I am an integrated regional director 2 years. Before I was an ER nurse, and this is my passion. I love this. We have such an amazing tool, you guys, and can help so many people, and it's really amazing what we can do with this. I'm going to pass over to Tony. Tony, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Tony Veroni. I know you guys are all giggling about my name, but I am also a nurse. I worked as a hospice nurse and at a weight loss clinic, and just did not want to go back, but I didn't have the intention of, going full time with this. I just ranked to fully integrated national director last month, and and it's and we've all had struggles in coaching, and so we're hoping to help you guys today in any struggles that you've had or are having.
So we're going to kind of recap what we've been going over. We have some really amazing trainings. Kelly and Dawn last week did a really good job. We had Cheryl and Stephanie go over some of their struggles and best practices. And if you guys did not watch it, definitely go back and listen to it because it was really, really good. They have a lot of good information on there. Also, we just want you guys to know how simple it is. Don't get overwhelmed. Everything you guys need to know is in that coach welcome letter that you get. Don't go searching for other things. I remember when I started, I tried to watch and listen and do so much, and it was really overwhelming. So don't do that to yourself. We will give you what you need as you need it. So don't think that you need to go find and be that A student and find out all that information, because you're going to overwhelm yourself, and then you're not going to be active and do the things that you need to do to really grow your business and help the people that you want to help. And then the last thing, they went over the importance of a three-way call, and they did a really good job of role playing that for you guys. It was actually kind of fun to watch. And it was perfect. It was simple. It was easy. It's so important for you guys to get on those calls and do it. Nobody ever wants to do those because you feel weird about it, or you think that they're going to be selling. Can you guys all see my screen?
No.
Oh man. Okay. Hold on. Now can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So that was the only slide you missed, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so just really use the three-way calls. They're really important, and we've done a really good job, as mentors, to really find out why people reached out to you, or why this would really help them. And so kind of being on that call really helps that. And then the importance of your story. We go over, I think number one thing that you need to know is your story. It doesn't need to be every single one of you has a story, or you wouldn't have signed up as a coach and you wouldn't have done this. So you might not think it's a huge story. And a lot of people would say, I only lost 14 pounds, and those 14 pounds completely changed my life. I am a totally different person from losing those 14 pounds. And people would say, hey, your weight loss story isn't that great, but I've been able to help over 400 people from losing 14 pounds. So you don't need a huge weight loss story. Each of you have one. You just have to connect with your mentors and figure out what that story is, because that's probably the most important thing and the most important advice that we could give you is to get your story down. Tony, you want to go ahead and go over the action steps?
Yes. So I do want to add too that that when I first started, I never did a three-way call, and I don't think Rosie did either. And I didn't want to get people on the phone. That was my first mistake, and it could have really ruined my business. I I felt like I knew how to talk to people. I felt like I knew what I was doing, and I did not need the help of my mentors, and that was a huge mistake in my business. So I just now I've had to go back and and reinforce with my coaches how important it is, because you have to get in touch with their why and why they really need this program. So Amy, can you mute your line? Okay, so did you guys do your action steps for last week? Okay, so the action steps were to what happened to the screen?
I was muting. Okay.
Okay. All right, so the action steps for last week were to invite 5 new people to a 3-way conversation. Raise your hand if you guys did that last week. Okay.
Anyone?
I don't see.
Nobody wants to play?
Come on, guys. All right, what was the next one?
Next one was...
Okay, so they asked you to complete at least 3 of the calls by Tuesday evening, and then to debrief and learn from your coach after the 3-way calls. So if you guys did do a 3-way call this week, if you guys did 1 3-way call, can you raise your hand? Okay, Jacqueline, can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so how did that go?
It went a lot better than I had expected. We talked about the program to an interested client, and she is going to sign up. So she has been struggling with her own weight loss on her own, and she can't. She's trying to donate a kidney for her husband to be moved up on the kidney donor list. And so she is going to sign up, I believe, next week. So it ended up going very well.
That's awesome. And so you got in touch with her why, right? And so
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. And so, I know that a lot of us struggle with getting on the phone with people, and we struggle with, maybe feeling like if I have my coach on the line, they're going to think I'm selling something or whatever. But we really need to guide you guys in how to do a good 3-way call. So that's awesome, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, and then so this week we are going to focus on follow-up and the next action steps, and we'll talk about those next week. And then the bonus would be getting 5 new clients started by today. But all right, you can go to the next slide.
It's coming. Hold on, guys.
Okay. At least we have a cute picture to look at.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna have a few people. You guys can hear from us all day, but that gets a little bit boring. So we're gonna have a few of the coaches who were in your exact situations, who are gonna get on and share a few minutes about their story and their journey and their obstacles and struggles and how they got past them. So I'm gonna have Shara, are you? Shara, can you get off mute?
Okay.
Hi.
I was having technical difficulties, but all good. So thank you. I was really excited when Rosie and Dominic asked me to speak. I am fairly new to the coaching business, I guess, and It's been about a year and a half. And it's been, honestly, that picture on the right where it's all squiggly, that's totally me, absolutely. I don't have a major weight loss story. My husband is my weight loss story. I actually saw Rosie's before and after picture. It was posted on Facebook. And I reached out to Jamil thinking he was a personal trainer that might be able to help my husband, who had some weight to lose and just was in a really stressful career. As we can all pretty much relate to, it's difficult finding time to work out, eat healthy, be a parent, be a spouse, be a son, be a daughter, whatever it may be. So I learned about the program through Jamil, and we didn't start it right away. I delicately brought it up to Mark, and he started, I would say, about 6 months later. And who would have thought that that would have been not only the moment where he reclaimed his health and wellness and had a new passion for life, but that I would start coaching. I was a stay-at-home mom. I have 3 little boys, and so many people were asking about the program that I stepped up and said, sure, I'll help. I'll talk about it. I was part of it, so let's do this. And I have to say, it just took off like wildfire. From my first Facebook post, the grand opening, Dominic and Rosie kind of prepared me, but until you actually experience it, you don't know what you're about to get into. So I remember going live, and I had about 10 to 15 instant messages pop up immediately. And I thought, oh my gosh, how am I possibly going to be able to do all of this? But, with their support and their guidance, I think I signed up close to 7 people within my first 2 weeks of coaching. I remember texting you, Rosie, going, I'm on fire. I love this. This is great. My husband was really supportive. And a lot fell on him. So I have to say it's great that I do have him to support me, because it does take up time. It takes family. It takes time out of your personal life, to allocate that time to help others. It takes commitment on both sides. So Mark was great. A lot of times he'd come home from a busy day. I'd have dinner on the table, and I'd have to tap out and do my interested calls or do my check-ins, and everything was going well. But to be completely honest, I would say about 60 days in, my second month, I started getting really frustrated. Not so much with the client acquisition or bringing new clients on board. I was frustrated with my new clients who weren't sticking to the program. So, the interested call was usually, in a lot of cases, very tearful. People were emotional. I was emotional, and I really felt like a failure when they didn't succeed or they wouldn't stick to the program, the way they were supposed to. And then that emotion turned into almost like anger or frustration. Maybe not anger, but I just felt like this wasn't for me. It was too much for me to handle, if that makes sense. And Dominic and Rosie were great. I really, they didn't give up on me. They kept telling me, it's not you, don't worry. Remember that this is their own personal journey. And that's exactly what it is. I'm sure the majority of you have a real love and passion for the program because you've lost weight. It's had a positive impact on your life. And, that you have to carry that into each day when you're coaching, and just remember why you started the program and why you love the program so much. And it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you're going to experience challenges, and you're going to experience a lot of emotion too. Tears of joy, tears of frustration. And there's not a better feeling in the world, honestly. I do have a full-time job. I have a stressful career. I am in sales, and I will tell you there's days where I come home from a really difficult day, and this job, coaching, makes it better for me because it's so positive. I get so emotional talking about it, but it's like you got to harbor that love, and that's what's going to fuel your success. And I laugh because I'm never on office emotion ever. If you were to ask me what my rank is, I don't know. I'm not doing this because it's a business. I do it because it financially helps my family, but honestly, it helps me feel like a better person to know that I'm helped in some way. So, like Mikey, and I hate, this is why don't ask me to be on Zooms, because I cry like every time.
I cried too, Shara.
I always cry, but like my client Mikey, God, we like saved his life. We're saving people's lives, you know. We're helping moms feel better about themselves, you know, get the baby weight off. These are all really big wins, but ultimately, I feel so fortunate that, you know, I can represent something that is helping people achieve something, or just making them feel better about themselves, or reconnecting families in a positive way, you know. The rate of like childhood obesity and juvenile diabetes and things like related to that, I mean, it's all affected, right? It's a chain reaction as far as these parents setting positive examples for their children. And I'm a mom, so it always kind of plays into my what it does for my children. But for all you new coaches, just, you know, if you do get frustrated, if it just does feel overwhelming, just embrace your coaching staff, embrace your mentors, follow the system. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, and just, you know, focus on your why. That's it. Hopefully I have helped in some way.
Sarah, thank you so much. I know how this has been, and I'm so proud of you, because just like you and like so many other people, you could have quit a long time ago. And because you didn't, you've been able to change some major lives recently. So thank you for sharing. I know that wasn't easy, and I know you did not want to, but I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Tony, I think Tony has someone that she is going to have speak right now.
Thank you, Shara, so much. That was so touching. And that's a perfect example of someone who knows their why. And she, I bet anything she can get on a three-way call, and she can really connect with people because she knows her why. And so, you know, when you lose touch with that and why you're doing it, then, you know, it makes it hard. It makes it hard to coach and do calls. So, anyway, so I'm going to call one of my coaches on my team. Her name is Laura Findison. And, you know, and I love what Shara said about this is a marathon and not a race. And it's true. It's not a sprint, you know. I felt like when I started, I was in a sprint, and I screwed up a lot of stuff in the beginning. And so I try to tell my coaches, you know, this is a marathon. You know, you want to build a sustainable business. So do it, you know, try to do it right from the get-go. And, you know, it's not a race, and you're so right. So anyway, I'm going to call Laura, and Laura just hit senior coach recently, and she did have some struggles and she can tell us about her struggles. Laura, can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Hi. Oh, let me turn my video on too. Okay. Okay. So hi, I'm Laura. I've been on the program for about, I think, 5, almost 6 months. I'm down like 44 pounds. I had a really difficult time when we first started. I wasn't in a good place. Even losing all the weight had put me in a better place, but I wasn't in a good place where I felt enough confidence in myself. I let that chatter in my head, you know, don't post so much on Facebook, you know. I have a special needs son, and I have a lot of people on my Facebook page that really are only my friends because they want to see how my special needs son is doing. And I kept letting this chatter of my own head kind of saying, you know, don't post on Facebook so much because you have all these people who they don't care about you. They care about Keegan. You know, they don't want to see you trying to sell stuff to them. They don't want to see your weight loss. They really only care about Keegan. You're going to lose a lot of friends. You're going to lose a lot of support. You know, you're getting on people's nerves, you know, and even to the point where, you know, and Tony never did anything to make me feel this way. This was just all my own personal craziness in my head, where I felt like I didn't want to get on a 3-way call with Tony because she's got a little one and she's trying to run her business, and I don't want to keep bothering her with my drama and my nonsense and my friends who 1 minute they want to be on plan and the next minute they don't want to be on plan. So I felt bad even like texting her throughout the day saying, hey, I'm not sure what to do about this person, I'm not sure what to do about that person. And I was really trying to do it all on my own because I was so afraid that I was bothering people. So and Tony and I had a long talk one time about it, and she's like, are you kidding me, Laura? Like, for real? Like, call me when you need to call me, text me when you need to text me. This is why I'm here. You know, she talked about some personal development. I really worked on myself. I mean, this isn't just my coaching journey is almost more for me than it is for other people, you know. Yes, I'm grateful that I get to help other people lose weight, and it's very rewarding when someone says, you know, hey Laura, you know, I like my one of my clients just texted me while we were on the call and said, I'm officially overweight instead of obese class 2. Like, I can't believe it, you know, and that's super, super rewarding. But really, this is like my journey too, to make me a more confident person, to make my worth more important. You know, and I feel amazing on this program. I've lost 40 pounds. I'm finally the mom that I wanted to be to I have 2 older children, a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, who spent all of their time fighting for my attention because I was so overwhelmed with my son's care, my special needs son's care, and trying to be the perfect mom and the perfect wife and the perfect sister and friend and everything to everyone else. And I was totally burnt out, and I feel amazing now because of this program. You know, I feel like I finally did my personal development. I feel better about myself, and now I'm almost selfish if I don't share it with other people that I know in my heart they could really benefit from this program. And so it took me a long time to get to see, not a long time, but I mean, way longer. Like this picture that's up here where it says like what people think it looks like. I really thought, okay, I'm going to become a coach and I'm going to hit senior coach like everyone talks about within the first month, and it's going to be great. And that did not happen for me. You know, and I'm getting really frustrated with myself. And I finally said, you know what, I was not taking the steps that Tony gave to me, that Jamil gave to me on our 3-way calls with him, that I was getting from all of these videos that we were watching. I wasn't doing that. I was letting that chatter say, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't bother that person. Don't call that person. You really might hurt their feelings, you know. Don't talk to your mother-in-law about it over and over again, even though she's almost 300 pounds, you know, because she's going to get mad at you and you have a bad enough relationship with your mother-in-law, you know. But really in my heart, I know that she needs this program, and I've been working on her for this last 2 months, and she is saving up her money, and she's going to start the program hopefully next month. So, I mean, that's just my proof that I needed right there, that this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, you know, that she needs this. I feel great helping her. Don't let that chatter get in your way. And now I feel like I'm helping way more people, even if they're not on the program, you know, they're messaging me and saying, hey, you're doing a great job. And I'm like, yeah, you're doing a great job too. You know, I love this, but it took me a long time to get there. I just let all of those societal feelings of, you don't want to bother people, and you don't want to sell crap to people because they don't want to deal with that, get in the way for a while. But now I've hit senior coach, and I'm pushing and pushing and pushing, and I love this.
Thank you so much, Laura. You're such a blessing to our community of coaches, and I want to say that I know that I can speak for myself and Rosie and I'm sure Jamil and all of us, is we don't get into this position as coaches and as business coaches if we don't absolutely love what we do. So, of course, I can beg you guys to get us on 3-way calls, and we genuinely love what we do, and that's why we do it. So you're never bugging any of us. Okay, so Rosie's going to introduce her next person.
Thank you, Laura. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing. I'm sure you helped a ton of people right now feeling exactly the way that you felt. And that's what's great about this and why we're having you guys share, because everyone thinks that it's a perfect, it's so easy for everyone, and it's not. We all have struggles. Every single one of us has struggled with something. We all have fears. We all have obstacles that we had to get past. So it's worth it. So just do it, you guys. It is life-changing, and there's so many people that you can help. Just take a chance on who's the next person that you can help. Don't be afraid to share this, because it's amazing and it'll help a lot of people. I'm gonna have Perla get on, and she's a very special place in my heart. She started coaching 2 years ago, right around this time I did, maybe a year and a half, and she stopped because she had obstacles and she was afraid to talk to people, and she is amazing. And I just want her to share what changed from then to now, because about 6 months ago she started again. And so Perla, will you share with us your amazing journey so far?
Sure. Hi, everyone. As Rosie said, I actually became a coach, I think it was about a year and a half ago, close to almost 2 years. I had just gotten pregnant with my daughter, and I almost hit senior coach. It just happened that, the people around me saw that I had lost, weight in order to be at a healthy place in my life to be pregnant. And, but it was, my sister, her husband, my sister-in-law, and her boyfriend. And I just could not, I'm not a person who likes to go out and talk to people. I didn't want to post things. I was in my head. I was worried about what everyone was going to think. I was worried, what is she doing? What's that thing she's doing? What is she doing? What is she trying to sell? All these thoughts in my head, and it was overwhelming. And I didn't want to post. I didn't really, I was particular about who I kind of shared it with. Just to back it up, I've done this program twice, and it's been successful both times. Before my pregnancy and after. The first time around, I lost 35 pounds. The second time around, I lost 55 pounds. All my baby weight is off. So, I knew the program worked. I think it was just a personal struggle for me. I'm very private. I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. Till this day, and I'm still working on it. At work, nobody knows that I'm a health coach, because I always felt like when I was doing the program, I was being judged. What are you eating? What are you doing? Why are you doing, all these different things. And so I was always worried about what people thought, what they were thinking. And maybe about 6 months ago, my daughter, she's what, 4? So she was probably like 8 months at the time. And, she started reaching an age where, she's doing little things, and I'm at work, at a job that I like what I do. I just don't like the people I do it around. I work in a negative environment, and so I felt like I'm missing all these things. And, financially, we're not in a place where I want to be, and I wanted to be there. And I always hung on to the business. I paid for my coaching every year, even though I wasn't doing anything. And so something inside told me just in case, And so about 6 months ago, I had a talk with Rosie, and I decided, okay, I have to do something because, nothing's going to change if I don't change something. So I started back up, with the business and slowly, and, I still have had some struggles. Like I think it was Laura who was talking previously, with personal development. It mostly has to do with myself, the things that I'm worried about and fears. And I just started talking to people, and it turned out that everybody who I thought was like, oh, they're doing great, they have no problem, those struggles, were having the same struggles or had the same struggles that I did. So I encourage everybody just to talk to different people. I just talked to the, higher mentors, and I just asked, I came back from convention and I asked Jamil, I had a really like deep conversation, and we talked about, I just asked him, tell me what I have to do and I will do it, and he shared with me, and it's been so helpful. Honestly, I've been listening to a lot of personal development stuff. I talk to people all the time when I as far as mentors, and now I like with all my patients, I just start conversations. I'm not necessarily like, hey, I got this, this could really, really help you. I'm just starting conversations, so I can grow. And I just encourage, everybody just to, do the personal development thing. It really, really does help. It really does. And it's been huge for me. It's just helped me see things differently. It starts my day off a little bit more positive. And, I used to always say in the morning before I got to work, I get off at 5, it would be 7 o'clock and I would be like, is it 5 o'clock yet? Is it 5 o'clock yet? I mean, jokingly, but just, stick with it. I like how everyone says, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And, we'll get there, and there might be, some hurdles, but, it's not worth it if it's not, if it's the smooth breeze and everybody would do it, and, it wouldn't be meaningful. So that's it.
Perla, thank you so much. I just love you to death. And I just know how many people that you're going to help. And even in this past 6 months of your personal development and getting outside of your comfort and talking to people and following up, you've been able to you're changing lives right now. Like, I'm so connected with the lives that you're changing, and you're making such a huge difference in these people. And I'm really proud of you for not giving up, because a lot of people would have given up. And you just brightened my day. So I love you. Thank you for sharing. I know it wasn't easy for you to get on, but you probably changed somebody on this call right now life because of what you just said. So thank you so much. Tony, I think, has one more person, and then we are gonna move on from our having people share and kind of talk to you about some of the obstacles. Tony?
Thank you, Perla, so much. I actually had someone texting me during that saying, oh my gosh, that's me. And you know what? So thank you, everybody who's sharing your story, because we all have our own journeys, and there's somebody out there that can relate, and one of my coaches, you just got her right here. So thank you so much for your story. So anyway, I'm going to call Jacqueline Martin, and Jacqueline is on my team, and her coach is Amy Klimek, and she just hit senior coach recently, which is really exciting. And she has shared some struggles with me, so I wanted her to share them with you guys and tell us how she got through them. Jacqueline?
Hi, Tony. Thank you. I'm Jacqueline Martin, and I became a coach at the end of June, I believe. And I've been on the program since May. and I just completed 10 weeks and I'm down 30 pounds. I started the program for me to lose weight and get healthy. And my why for why I became a participant in the program, I don't think is as important as my why for wanting to become a coach. I didn't want to become a coach, and Amy really kind of convinced me to do so just because of how positively I was affected by the program, and I just really wanted to share that with other people. I had a lot of I put up a lot of boundaries when I first started. I didn't want to sell to people. I didn't want to call people. I didn't want to ask for people to buy from me. I was hoping that just the fact that I had such a positive experience on my own was going to be enough. And so I would talk to Amy and I would talk to Tony and I would say, you know, this is not exactly what I thought it was going to be. I thought people would just immediately want to sign up right after I did my Facebook grand opening. And there were people that were interested, but I think that my approach was not right. And so Amy had to, you know, work with me on doing the 3-way calls, and still I just wasn't seeing the results that I needed to. And so Amy and Tony asked me to go to the breakfast on Wednesday, and Tony was texting me and says, "You need to talk to Jamil. You need to sit with him and demand that you talk, you know, that you have some of his time, because he's just amazing." And you know, so when I got there, it was just coincidental. I got to sit right next to him, and we started chatting right away, and we talked for, oh gosh, it felt like an hour. And some things that were said to me that day by Tony and Jamil were really instrumental in my mindset. And one of the things Tony said was that this is your journey. You just keep doing you. And don't worry about everything else, because all of that will fall into place. If they don't want to sign up, that's okay. And that's kind of something that Jamil said too, was that if they don't sign up, I think he says NBD, no big deal. So that kind of resonated with me. And I thought, okay, it isn't any big deal, because when they're ready, and that's all right. And you just move it along and you keep doing you. And so it felt all of a sudden like this weight was lifted off of me. Like there was not all this self-implemented pressure to become a senior coach in the first 30 days and, you know, getting my my cab, you know, that was like a huge thing for me, is that I thought that would measure my success. But then when I realized, no, helping people and doing it for the reason why I wanted to be a coach, to spread the word, to allow other people to experience what I experienced. That's the reason why, not the cab, not the becoming a senior coach. None of that matters. And I mean, there are people, I think, that they solely rely on this for their income. I personally have still a full-time job, but my why for being a coach is because I want to do it for others, not for me. So once I let those self-implemented boundaries down, and I was able to realize that it isn't any big deal, that people will be touched just by you being you, and that's enough. Mm-hmm. So
thank you so much, Jacqueline. Thank you for sharing your story. And you know, that's a perfect example of why this is not sales, because we're just planting seeds. So we're talking about the program, and you know, and if they don't want to sign up, I mean, no big deal. They will sign up eventually. So and if we were selling it, then we would have pushed them into it, right? So
right.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. All right, Rosie.
Hi. Okay, so we're going to go over a couple of the obstacles that we keep that keep coming up that people have, that we've all had. So the obstacle is the path becomes the path. Never forget, within every obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition. So we all know, we all have fears, we all have had obstacles, we all have challenges along the way. So we want you to know that you're normal. We've all felt it. Nobody, not one of us, not even Jamil, has had zero obstacles along the way. And they kind of need to be there, because to get past those obstacles, you grow and you become better and you're able to help more people. And I don't think it was a coincidence that Jacqueline sat next to Jamil. I think everything happens for a reason, and you're where you're supposed to be at the time that you're supposed to be there. So it's not a race. It's your own journey, and just help people. Everything will fall into place if you're coming from a good place in just wanting to help them. So a few of the obstacles that always come up is price. This was not a challenge for me at all, because I 100% believe that every person who starts this will save money. I have not had one client who spends more. I did the program by myself, and I fed my family different food, and I don't know why I did that, but I did, and I still saved money, because if you ate 3 fast food meals a day, which a lot of people do, you'll spend at least $18, and this program is $12 for the food that they buy. That's it. You're basically changing one grocery store for the other. And if you connect with their why, with why they really reached out to you, there's a reason somebody messaged you on Facebook. There's a reason why that person popped into your head. There's a reason why you're on that interested call with them. You need to find out what that reason is. I used to start with my story. I never start with my story now. My story doesn't matter. It's all about them. So I really focus on their health, where they're at, why they reached out to me. Sometimes I'm a perfect stranger to them, and they had to have been in a really bad place to reach out to me, not even knowing what we do. So really connect with their why, you guys. If you can find out why they reached out to you, and you need to ask questions, because they're not going to just give it to you. You need to ask, what made you reach out to me? Why now? Where do you want to be? When was the last time you were there? What would that do for you? What would that change for you? How would your life be different? Don't settle for halfway. Get to your goal so you never go back. You really need to, I think that's the most important part of that call. And then price doesn't matter. At the end, I have some people who they've given me all their information, and 6 hours later say, by the way, what was the price? And it's not because they have all this money that they can just throw away. It's because they know that is going to change their life. So really connecting with their why is the most important thing. But the price, you guys, it's $12, and it's $15 if they're doing the Optavia, which is still less than, they can spend less than $20 on their lean and green and their food for an entire day. And that's unheard of. And get healthy and get off their meds and all of that along the way. So really, you need to, if the price comes up and it's an issue for them, then they're not ready. They're not ready, and you don't really want them to start, because this is a journey, and if they're using price as an excuse, they're not in a place, or you didn't really connect with their why enough to get them into the place where this is it for them. So that is some of the, if you have a problem with the price, whoever you're talking to is going to have a problem with the price, because when you bring up price, it's like it's $372 for almost 5 weeks. If you say that, then it comes out like that. I say, oh my gosh, it's only $12 a day. You're going to save so much money. It is going to be like, you're not going to spend money on coffee. You're not going to go out. Alcohol, you're going to save so much on alcohol. If you add up all those things, they save. So it's just how you say it to them. If you say it like, oh my God, if you let them know how much they're going to save and come off confident in that, it's not going to even be an issue, because it's never been an issue. And I've helped a lot of people, and I have a lot of people who couldn't afford it at all. And it wasn't because they had all this money. They really could not afford it, and they still did it. So just don't let that be an obstacle, because it shouldn't be at all. Tony, do you have something to add on price?
Yeah, so when I started this program, I was a stay-at-home mom, and we were, it was hard on one income. Like, we were having trouble paying the bills, but I was so desperate, and I was so done. And and of course, like, when I talked to my coach about it, she asked me, how much do you spend a day on food? Because, like, I couldn't even, I don't even remember how I came up with that money, to be honest. Like, I still don't know where I came up with it, but I needed this so badly that I found it. And it's absolutely an excuse that people will make. Most people can get the money together somehow. So, you know, she asked me how much I was spending a day, and that really, like, resonated with me, because I said, well, I go to Starbucks in the morning, and that's $5, and then I go, and then I have my breakfast at home, and then I was going to Chick-fil-A like every day, which was like $12 to $14 just for lunch, and then I don't even know what I had for dinner, and then all the junk that I ate in between. It's like, and then the other thing is that I've tried other programs. I did the Whole30 on my own, which is like all whole foods, and you just go to the store and buy all your food. It cost me like $850 for a month. So after I tried that program, I am absolutely confident in talking to people about this. It's like, I think that when people are nervous, and, like, if you have an issue, just like Rosie said, if you are like, oh, it's so expensive, oh my God, then obviously they're going to think it's expensive. But if if you're confident in knowing that, I am really going to help you, I could possibly save your life. I'm going to give you a better quality life, and it really isn't that expensive, then, it's technically, it's a lot cheaper than doing a lot of other programs. So I haven't really come across this issue much either. Okay, you can move on.
And then, okay, so price shouldn't be an issue, you guys. We're just trying to make you guys see that the only reason it's an issue if it's an issue with you. So if you think it's expensive, you're going to come across as it's the words that you're saying to them that comes across as it being expensive. And it's not, you guys, it really is not. They will save. So really focusing on what they're having that day is key to, like, I always ask them, break down a day for me. Like, what do you do now eating? And by the time they're done, they've spent so much money. And so when I tell them, oh my gosh, look how much money you're going to save, you're not going to be getting this, because I have the tools that I need to bring back to them, because I've asked them what a day looks like for them or what a weekend looks like for them. And so then it kind of just takes that price issue out of the way, because they have nothing to come back with. So really focus on how not expensive this program is. And then the salesperson, everyone feels, a lot of my coaches and a lot of people's challenges is they don't want to come off as a salesperson. You guys, we are changing lives. Imagine if the person who asked you to do this had the fear and did not ask you, where would you be right now? Like, where would you be? Some of you might not even be alive. I know some of my clients probably wouldn't be alive. I know health-wise, so many people would not be here. If Jamil hadn't shared this with my best friend who had asked me to do it with her, so many lives would not have been changed. So don't feel like you're selling someone, you're changing someone's life. And the tool that we have with this program, there's not anything out there like that is going to actually teach them what they need to do to keep this weight off afterwards. And then the community of people. So don't feel like a salesperson. And after all my calls, I never say at the end of my interested call, not once have I ever said, are you ready to sign up? Do you want to do this? I say, you know what? This is a really important moment in your life. I'm super excited to start this journey with you, but I really want you to think about it. Go home, think about if this is what you want. If what we talked about is what you want, if you're ready to start this journey and change your life. Because if you're not, take the time. Take a month, take however long you need to really get ready to make the commitment to do this. And if you decide to do this, I will be there every step of the way. but I can't want this more than you. So you have to be ready. And when I say that to them, they don't feel like, oh my God, she wants, they're like, wait, but I want to sign up now. And I'm like, no, really think about it. Go home and talk to whoever you need to talk to. Find someone to do it with you so that when you start this journey, you're changing those around you. And it really, when you don't ask them, like, are you ready? Do you want this? I am not connected with the fact if they say yes or no on that call, because I know eventually everyone I talk to will eventually do this. And it might be now, it might be 2 weeks from now, it might be 6 months from now. I help family members a year later, some 2 years later after I became coaching, but I never got upset. I treated them the same way. I didn't avoid them because I thought they would think I was selling to them. I knew the gift that we had to present, and I knew that it was going to work for every person I came in contact with. And so I knew eventually they would do it. And so it doesn't bother me if they don't say, no, I'm not interested, or I don't know if this is a good fit for me. So it's really on how you present it to them, and really focusing on them and not on you. Like, don't care if they sign up or not, because if you care, then you come off as pushy or like desperate, and you don't want to come across like that, because you could not help someone that needs to be helped because you're so wanting them to sign up, but you can't want it more than them. So just let them know that when they're ready, you'll be there. That's what I have to say. Tony, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so when I started this program, I was 50 pounds overweight, and I was on 2 blood pressure medicines because heart disease runs in my family. And if my coach, Jessica, hadn't presented this program to me, like if she had thought, oh, I don't want to sell a program to Tony, I feel like a salesperson, then my life would not have changed. I'm not on any blood pressure medicine anymore. I'm in a size 2, 4. I was having trouble getting up the stairs. Now I'm able to chase my 2-year-old. It's like, if you have those thoughts in your head, like, think of how many people that you can help. You're not selling anything. Just like Rosie said, when I'm on a call, I do not hesitate to tell someone, I don't think you're ready. If they're not ready, I will say it, because people respect that. If somebody genuinely is not ready for this and they're saying, well, every Friday I go to the street fair and I have to have funnel cake every Friday, then, well, maybe you're not ready, and it's okay to say that to someone. It's absolutely okay. So this is a gift. This program really is a gift. So just don't think of it as sales, and just think of it as, you're inspiring people to get healthy, and you could be saving their life.
What do you need?
All right. Thanks, Tony. And then 3-way calls. Okay, I struggled with this. I thought that I didn't need them, and I thought, they're going to think, like, why do they want to get on a call with my coach? Like, that's weird. It's not weird. I have done so many of these calls, you guys, so many with my coaches, and every time I get off, before we get off, the person that we're doing the 3-way call, that my coach invited on the 3-way call, thanks me for taking the time to talk to them, and that they're really excited to do this, and they feel like this is different than everything else. But not one person has ever said, why do you need to be on this call? So that's just chatter in your guys' head, you guys. They are so grateful and so thankful that they have so many people supporting them, that it never is weird. It's never weird. So if you haven't set up a call with your mentor coach right now because you think they're going to think it's weird that you're getting on a call, just say to them, hey, I just started. I'm really excited about this. I'm not quite sure how to really explain the program. There's so many different programs that we have. Will you get on a call with my coach so I can hear how she explains it? That way I can learn and I can get better. No one is going to say, I'm not going to get on a call with you. Why am I going to get on a call with you? Everyone is excited to get on those calls, and they're not weird or awkward. It's very natural. So use your mentors, you guys. There's a reason they've been through this. Use how they know how to answer the questions for the price, because all these weird questions come up during those calls, and sometimes you don't know the answer. But imagine if you have someone who did on that call with you, how much nicer that call would be and how much you would learn on that call. So don't feel like you're bothering your mentor. Don't feel like, we want to do this with you guys. We want to be on these calls. I love them. I love connecting with people's whys. It makes me excited. It's my passion for this. I like to get people where they were and give them the dream and the possibility of where they're going to be, and then watch them on their journey get there. It's my favorite part of this. So use your mentors. They, I'm sure, feel the exact same way and want to help as many people and hear as many stories and connect with as many people as they can. So use the simple system. Use the 3-way calls. Get them on. Get your contact list going with your 5 to 10 people and set up calls with your mentor. Keep your mentor busy. We like to be busy. Use them, because we are really good at these calls and you can learn a lot. And then everybody does the calls differently, which is great. Like, it's not a script. It's your own way. But you're going to hear your mentor's way, and then you might hear your other mentor's way, and then you have your way. And then you'll find a little bit of each that fits you. And then you're going to come up with this amazing, interested call that you wouldn't have ever come up with if you hadn't heard how the other 3 did it. So you're going to learn a lot through these calls. So definitely set them up. And then I'm bugging them. They're not interested, avoiding my calls. That so many people feel. Perla was the perfect example. Like, she didn't want to bother people. Follow up with people, you guys. Life happens, and it's not that they're avoiding you. I've had people who, if I had given up, I wouldn't have been able to, if I hadn't followed up. I'm really good about following up, and it's why I have a good business, because if someone tells me, check in with me next month, I'll check in with them. If every month I check in with people that I've talked to, just to see, even my people in maintenance, I follow up with, just because I care. I actually care. And I want to know. And if they're on my mind, there's a reason they're on my mind. And I know that they're eventually going to do this. And some people need time. And some people, life happens. They lose their job, or somebody passes away, or something happens. And they're not calling you back because they're trying to ignore you, but because life happens. People have kids. People have jobs. People are busy. Things happen in their life. And don't feel that they're avoiding you. And the worst that can happen is they don't respond. And then you move on to the next. And I've had people who I followed up with didn't respond for 3 months. And then 3 months later, I get a message and it says, I wasn't ignoring you. I just wasn't ready to talk to you because I'm really ashamed of where I've been, or I'm really embarrassed that I let myself get here. And I didn't know how to let you help me. And then they say that they're ready. And if I hadn't followed up, they probably wouldn't have felt comfortable enough to reach out to me 3 months later. So definitely follow up with people. And no does not mean no. It just means not now. Eventually it means yes. I promise you. I've had so many people, and we've all been there. I'm sure Tony has something to say about this too.
Yeah, thank you, Rosie. So absolutely, this is where personal development is huge for me, because when I started this, if somebody said no to me, I would get upset. I would get mad. I would think all kinds of stuff would go through my head. But for me, I try to form genuine relationships with people, and my follow-ups are not like, hey, do you want to sign up? Hey, are you ready to try my program now? That's not how my follow-ups work. So, if I have somebody who I know is trying to lose weight, I will encourage them, and, whatever program they're trying, whatever they're doing, if they're trying to work out or whatever, it's like, how are you doing with that? Like, I genuinely care. I really genuinely care. I don't care if they do our program, but I care that they're getting to their goals. And another thing that I do is, I set up play dates, and I set up lunches and coffee and stuff with my friends. And so my perfect example of this is my friend Erica, and I'm going to have her talk in a second. But the minute that I knew that her and I were good friends, our kids are the same age. I knew she was trying to lose weight, and she was a nursing mom. And so I signed up as a health coach, and I drove to her house, and I was like, Erica, oh my gosh, you have to do this. This program is so awesome. It's great. So excited to help you lose weight. And she was like, no. And I'm like, what? And I was, and I thought, oh my gosh, I thought for sure you were like a shoo-in, and she said, no, I'm just not ready. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. And I let it go. And, and we talked, like we talk all the time anyway, but we would talk about health here and there. And, and I would encourage her, to try like meal prepping and all that. And 7 months later, she texted me one day and said, okay, I'm ready. And it was just like that. And when she was ready, she was ready. So, Erica, do you want to unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, Tony talked to me about it a long time ago, and I just, like she said, was not ready at all. But, when you get ready, you get ready. And I think that one thing, so Tony and I were hanging out the other day, and she told me she has a friend who got together all this money to start a business, like $40,000. And I was like, wow, that's not a lot of money to start a business. And Tony kind of gave me this look like, well, yeah, it is. $40,000 is a lot of money. But when you think about actually starting a business, you have to develop all the policies, all the processes, your clientele. You have to buy stuff to start your business. This is the easiest business to start. You spend $200 and everything's done for you. You have a coach who will basically build your business for you. And it's so important to use those. And I only have 2 clients right now, so I'm not putting pressure on myself to get I don't need 15 clients. I need to bring on the ones that want to be brought on. And anytime you talk to somebody, I've been talking with a few people, and I really have the mentality of no just means not right now. You just have to call them back later. Wait a month, wait a couple weeks, call them back, see how they're doing, and just be natural about it. And it'll be so much easier for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Erica.
Welcome.
So with that, like follow-up was key for that. Like not even follow-up in just exactly like Tony said, do you want to do this? I follow up with just like, hey, how's it going? I haven't heard from you in a while. Just thinking about you. And I've had people who have tried other programs, and I support them and I say, how's it going? And I ask about it. I don't make it weird or feel like I can't talk to them because they're not doing my program. If you feel like that, then it's not going to happen, and then they're going to feel weird. So you support them. Eventually, if they're ready, they'll eventually do it. So it's super simple, you guys. You just need to use your mentorship. Set up those 5, those action steps that we gave you last week that some of you did, some of you didn't. If you guys are consistent and do something every day for your business will grow and you'll be able to help more people. But you have to be in action. It's not going to happen if you guys don't do anything. Like consistency is number 1. I'm busy. I have kids. I was working full time when I started this, and I found the time because I connected with my why for why I wanted to go part-time. I wanted to be involved in my kids' life. I wanted to be able to volunteer. I wanted to be present. And so I had a big enough why for me to sacrifice sleep and a couple hours here and a couple hours there. So if you really want, it's not going to happen by you just standing around. You really have to reach out to people. And I didn't really like to reach, I like to meet people in person and have conversations with people. So like Tony, I set up play dates. We're moms. Like I set up play dates. I went to coffee with people. I went to lunch with people. I met up with people I hadn't talked to. I just started building relationships. And if you build relationships, eventually it's going to come up. What do you do? And then it's a normal conversation and it's not weird. So if you don't feel comfortable just saying, hey, I decided to be a health coach. I'm really excited about this. You know a lot of people I don't know. Is there anyone in your life that would benefit from coming off meds, losing some weight, gaining some healthy habits? Please put them in contact with me. I would love to help them. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, then just meet with people. Just get out there and talk to people. Because if you do, you'll be able to help people, and people are going to come in your life that are going to need your help. There's so many people out there, you guys, that need us. We can make a difference. And there's people around you right now working in the ER that don't have tomorrow. Like, a week might be too late for them. I have people in their 30s and 40s coming in, and they had major heart attacks, and they're not around to see their kids grow up. So if I could say something is, don't be afraid to talk to someone about this, because there's someone out there that needs you to save their life right now. And I know that sounds weird, but imagine where you would be if someone hadn't reached out to you. So you might be afraid, do it anyways. You might feel uncomfortable, do it anyways. You never know what's going to happen. They might say yes. It might be not today, but maybe tomorrow or maybe the next week. So just put those 5 to 10 people that are on your mind right now. Write a list of 5 to 10 people. Set up those 3-way calls with your mentor. Use them, you guys. Okay? And then do one thing next week out of your comfort zone. Set up a play date, a coffee, a lunch, like go to a party. Like, if you're invited somewhere, go. Even if you don't want to go, go. There's a reason why you were invited. There's a reason if you go, something might happen. And then follow up with people you've talked to about this. And not like, do you want to do it now? Say, hey, I was just thinking about you. How's it going? And see where the conversation goes. And then the one thing that really helped me grow my business and really go from 5 to 10 to 10 to 15 to 15 to 20 is I do a buddy system with everyone on my interested call. And some of you are like, what the heck is that? But I started with my best friend, so I truly believe that you need to do this with someone. It would make it more fun. So on that call, when I'm talking to them, I say support is key in this. You're going to have me as your coach, and I'll be there every step of the way, but find someone in your life right now that needs this as much as you do, that you want to do this with. Because as you change the people around you, you're going to change your lifestyle, and you're more likely to keep the weight off if you change those around you. Everybody has somebody. Find out who your somebody is. Go and ask them to do this with you, whether it be their best friend, their coworker, their boyfriend, girlfriend, sisters, mom, husband and wife. Like, everybody has someone out there that if you called, my best friend just called me and said, I need to do this. You've seen how much I've been working out. And I threw my credit card because she said she couldn't do it without me. Everybody has that person in their life. Find that person. But if you don't ask, they're not going to find that person. So that would be my number one tip for you guys is do the buddy system and find them to do it with someone, because it'll make it more fun. They'll have better success, and it'll be a better journey for them. Tony, do you want to add to the action steps?
No, just you guys get your contact list together and reach out to those people and reach out to your business coach or mentors and one of my coaches last week, we had been talking about like how to get the word out about health, and she got invited to a party that she did not want to go to, and I said, maybe you should go. You never know. You never know who you're going to see. You never know when those people see you, like they're going to see how great you look. And I've done that a lot. So I've done a lot of things I didn't want to do and places I didn't want to go to, and it's definitely helped me. So.
All right. We went way over time. Sorry, everyone. I can talk forever, and so can Tony. But we just come from a place of love, you guys. Plant those seeds, because they will harvest later. Everyone that you talk to will eventually do this or send you someone who needs to do this. So just talk about it. And thank you for getting on the call with us. And hopefully you learned something and there was something of value there for you. Anything you want to add, Tony?
No, I think that the point for me where things changed in my head was where I went from I have to get these clients to I'm just planting seeds, and just plant the seeds. Plant a seed every day, 1 seed a day. They might bloom in 7 months. They might bloom. It took me 3 years. My coach planted a seed 3 years ago. Actually, it's been 4 years because this is my 1 year anniversary. So it took a long time, but that seed grew. And so just keep planting the seeds. Thanks you guys for being on with us today.
Thank you.